Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the regular open meeting of Town Council, Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. So I will need an approval, please, of the agenda and no late items. Could I have a motion, please? Thank you. Councillor Cheong, Councillor King, all in favor? Thank you. And the adoption of some minutes. Special open minutes from February the 6th, special open minutes from March the 31st, special open minutes from April the 7th, special open minutes from April the 21st, and regular open minutes from April the 28th, and the parcel tax roll review minutes from April the 28th. Could I have a motion, please, to accept those? Thank you. Councillor Bennett, Councillor Cheong, all in favor. Thank you. So we will now move down to bylaws. And the first one, Mrs. Coulson, is on street naming and building number amendment bylaw 1227.01. Found this quite interesting, this report.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Today's report is just dealing with the building and numbering portion of the bylaw. And the issue is, until now, the bylaw has only allowed numeric subunit and suite identifiers associated with what we would call a parent property. Evolving building designs associated with the move towards higher density, as well as Canada Post requirements for addressing, have resulted in a need to amend our addressing formats to allow alpha suffixes to suite addresses. For example, if a parent address is 123 Main Street and it had two buildings on that property, the two buildings might be addressed as 100 123 Main Street and 200 123 Main Street. Now, if unit 100 was to create a suite within that unit, Canada Post is unable to work with an address where the new suite was given the number, say, 1 in the address. So an address such as 100 123 Main Street is not compatible with their addressing system. But the bylaw amendment proposes that that suite in this example would be called 100B 123 Main Street, at which Canada Post could accommodate and deliver mail to. And so the street naming and building numbering bylaw was being reviewed. We noticed a couple of minor housekeeping changes, and those were made along the way as well. And all the details of those changes can be seen on the tracked redlined copy of the bylaw that's attached to the report today. So the recommendation for council today is to provide first, second, and third readings to the street naming and building numbering amendment bylaw number 1227.01, 2026.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I was looking at, I remember way back when the principal at the high school was given the job of naming the streets and the avenues. So all streets have odd numbers on them, and all avenues have even numbers on them. So like my house is on 85th Street, so I have an odd number on my address. Interesting how that happened. Then, of course, in 2007, we came up with the 7 themes. That was before my time as well, but somebody came up with that. And I thought the map showing where the themes were was quite interesting because I hadn't seen that before. And so that must be a little bit confusing as well, because all of a sudden it was streets and avenues and then changed into themes. That took a while to get used to, believe me. Somebody else came up with that. Anyway, I found the whole thing, and the whole section on street names and so on was quite interesting. So, council, yes.
I'll move option 1.
Thank you. We have it seconded. Councillor Cheong. Any other concerns? All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, next we have not much on here today, is there? Where are we at? Forgotten. The tax rates bylaw number 1409. So I assume that would be you, Mrs.
Would
Key.
be me. So before you, we have the tax rate bylaw number 1409, 2026 for consideration for adoption. We brought it to council, the previous council, which we received our first 3 readings. Again, nothing has changed since that report. We've highlighted some of the municipal portions of the tax requisition, which is municipal of 5.5 million, policing 1.5, general debt 36,000, fire protection 983,000, and fire hall debt 173,000. We also have tax requisitions where we bring in revenues for other agencies such as school, hospital, regional district, Okanagan Regional Library, BC Assessment, and Municipal Finance Authority. These amounts are pretty much dictated to us, and we are just collecting and passing them through as a flow through. As part of our analysis, we put together a quick what an average family home would pay in 2025 and what they will now pay in 2026, which demonstrates the amounts below with the increases, and it results in a monthly increase of about $18.88. And that would be my report.
Thank you very much. So we have had the first, second, and third readings of this, and so today it's up for adoption. Is there somebody like?
Question.
Yes.
Just curious there on your average assessment, it's less this year than last year. Is there a rationale behind that?
Sorry, the assessed values have gone down from last year's.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion, please? Councillor Poturica, you're moving it. Thank you. Councillor Cheong seconding it. All in favor. Thank you. And next is the council meeting report for Councillor Poturica, who managed to get this in under the wire, and the rest of us are a little slower. Could someone please move that the expenses for Councillor Poturica and the amount of $400 be approved? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Cheong, all in favor. Thank you very much. And now reports from Committee of the Whole. Committee of the Whole meeting of May the 12th, 2026, a request for water exemptions and that the council approve the watering exemption for Solvita and Casa del Lago, allowing the Stratas to water their zones as follows for 2026. Water restrictions for, I will skip the 3 days a week. We are now at 2 days a week. Water restrictions for watering 2 days a week. This allows the strata to use each sprinkler head to a maximum of 2 days a week. And that, if possible, that could go down to watering 1 day a week, in which case we will come back and make that change later. And that the schedule for the use of sprinkler heads at Solvita and Casa del Lago be approved by administration. And that any violations or abuse of the schedule, the agreement will be null and void. So could I have, thank you. Councillor Cheong is moving that. Is there a seconder? Councillor Bennett? I will call the question. Oh, you have a question. Go ahead. Yes.
I just wanted clarity. If this got passed and we're at 2 days of water now and we move to 1 day, do we have to come back to council?
Thank you, Councillor King, through the chair. No, it's already in here stating that it's going to follow our watering restrictions, and that if we do go down to 1 day a week, they will then modify so that it said they will only be watering 1 day a week like the rest of us.
Thank you. So can I call, did you have a question? Go ahead, Councillor Appleby.
What I heard this morning is that Solvita is operating, say, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Like they're doing one water in the morning and taking up half their zones, and the other water the next morning taking up half their zones. Is that the story?
Yes, so that is correct. So for them to be able to water and use all of the sprinkler heads with because they can't fit it all in the 4 hours, they have been allowed to split it up. And same with, sorry, it's also Solvita and Casa de Lago. So they will run, for example, 8 zones on the one day for the amount specified, the time that is allowed. And then on the next day, they run the second zone for that allotted timeline. So they are not using any extra water. Their sprinkler heads are only going on, for example, they've set them for the 2 days a week. Their sprinkler heads are only going on twice a week, just like the rest of the municipality and area A, because they're on the same restrictions.
It's just that they have so many sprinkler heads that they have to split it over 2 days. They can't,
Yeah.
because it's only 4 hours. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm wondering if it'd be appropriate to forewarn them that this may not continue next year, so that they are maybe energized into upgrading a little more.
I have a feeling because they came last year and asked for it and they've come back this year that they knew it was just for a 1-year term.
I know,
And-
but I'm warning
yeah.
them ahead of time so that the next council can make a unbiased determination.
They will have to go through the same procedure of having them come and explain it. You're quite right, but it will be a different council for sure next year. Yeah. Okay, so can we vote on this one? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can we separate these or do we have to do them both at the same time? Because I support one, I don't support the other one.
Is that a possibility?
So Councillor, are you saying that you want to do Solvita separate from Casa de Lago? Is that what you're saying?
Separate.
Oh, yeah, sure, you could move it that way.
All right, let's go back and change the motion then that let's deal with Casa de Lago. Well, Solvita is written first on here, so Solvita first. So
May I just, it was
Yes.
Councillor Cheong that moved it. Are you okay with them?
with changing the
moving it
motion,
in a different way? Yeah, okay.
and who was the seconder?
Bennett. Bennett.
Oh, Councillor Bennett, are you all right with that too? Okay, fair enough. Let's go back then. And the motion is that we accept this for Solvita. First moved and seconded. All in favor? Thank you. And do our water councillors get a vote on this? Okay, just so that you know. And I'm sorry then, if I didn't count you, or did I? We have 5-4. Is there anybody against this? No, okay, fair enough. Let's look at Casa de Lago. And the same applies, the same conditions apply. And is there a mover to move the conditions for Casa de Lago? Councillor Cheong, Councillor Bennett seconding that. Is there anyone else who would like to speak before I ask for the vote? I will call the vote. All in favor? Against? And opposed? Is that 2 people opposed? Thank you very much. That's carried. Now we move to the Committee of the Whole, and moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Cheong, that staff give notice to an application to exclude 1.178.11 hectares of lands from the Agricultural Land Reserve in accordance with Section 29(2)A of the Agricultural Land Commission Act and Section 15 of the Agricultural Land Reserve General Regulation, and that the public hearing be scheduled in accordance with Section 29(2)B of the Agricultural Land Commission Act for June the 9th, 2026, and that staff give notice of the public hearing in accordance with the requirements of the Local Government Act. Could I have that motion, please? Is it, I said Councillor King, Councillor Cheong. Are you doing that again? Okay. All in favor? Thank you very much. And from the Committee of the Whole, that the zoning amendment bylaw 1395.12 2026 be revised in order to include a regulation permitting one duplex dwelling as a principal use at the property located at 4601 97th Street, legally described as Lot A, District Lot 2450S, SDYD Plan 30111. Could we have a motion to do that? Councillor Cheong, Councillor King, all in favor. Thank you very much. And now we will move on to the CAO report, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. So starting as usual in community services, the Meadowballer Playground request for proposal closed on April 30th and will be awarded shortly. The Child Care Advisory Committee had a brief meeting to discuss the terms of reference and the meeting schedule. Staff are pleased to be receiving nominations for the annual Volunteer Appreciation Lunch on May 29th. Pop-up roller rink is scheduled for May 23rd in partnership with Penticton Roller Skate. A survey was launched on April 23rd to gather feedback from the community on programs and services being offered by through Sonora. And Sun Bowl Arena is now shut down for maintenance until June 26th. In corporate services, early morning enforcement patrols for watering restriction compliance have started. Bylaw officers will provide a friendly reminder of watering restrictions. If the same residents continue to be out of compliance, a bylaw notice will be issued. Staff are working on updated signs for all the parks, reflecting some of the recent bylaw updates. Seasonal staff are being hired, and a document scanning project has completed, and the scanned documents are being shipped to a professional storage facility. Not a lot of people would be excited about that, but I am. That is a big job and a job well done. It secures the records of the town, so it's a good thing. In communications, Facebook, our Facebook page had over 22,000 page views since the last council meeting. The top posts were about illegal dumping, a missing dog, and employment opportunities. There have been over 11,000 website views since the last meeting. And the recreation programming survey that I just mentioned, the results have been posted on the survey webpage. In planning and development services, 6 new business licenses have been issued since the last report. Next level construction, May Brothers Excavation, Saranjeet Kanda, which is a B&B, Rover Sport Shop, Prime Exteriors, and Deer Valley Holdings. Staff are working on the BC Electric Kick Scooter Pilot Project 2-year annual report, and there were 6 building permits issued during the month of April with a total value of $23,000 in commercial renovations and $240,000 in residential renovations. In financial services, second quarter billing is getting set to go out in mid-May. Tax notices will be issued the 3rd week of May. And the finance staff are working on provincial financial disclosures, year-end reports for the annual report, statement of financial information, and the local government information system and community works. They're preparing reporting in all those areas. In the fire department is getting ready to kick off the next class of recruits starting in June. Several new members will begin their journey towards obtaining professional firefighting certification. Training will be delivered by in-house instructors, with the program expected to take 6 months to complete. Our Osoyoos Fire Smart Coordinator, Lieutenant Diane Butt, is now working from Fire Hall number 1 and conducting property assessments. 6 residents in our area have already called in for Fire Smart evaluations. To book an assessment or for more information on the Fire Smart program, call Diane at 250-495-4632 or email firesmart@osoyoos.ca. And finally, in operational services, the modular trailer for the operations yard contract has been awarded to Lane 1 Homes in the amount of $198,277. Public Works Department turned on the Splash Park water on Wednesday, May the 6th. We have received preliminary results from the Biomax implementation for odor control, and the data shows that the hydrogen sulfide levels have actually been reduced. So we're making progress. Water system tie-in on Quail Place will take place on May the 5th. And that's the end of the CAO report.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Coulson. Can I just point out that one of the things you mentioned was the volunteer luncheon, which is on May the 29th, and is being organized by Sarah Dennison from the Sonora Center. And I had a meeting with her the other day, and she says there are still some volunteer groups that have not responded. And so she's hoping that if anybody has not heard about it or is concerned, to please contact Sarah. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. So just out of curiosity, how many records were digitized? I guess in like boxes. How would you measure that?
In boxes, I would have to say we had 6 pallets leave this facility, and they were stacked 4 high by 4, kind of
Lots.
About 30.
yeah, 30 on a pallet, and they have left the premises to a safer spot. I have to give kudos to Michelle Stebnicki. She took the reins on that once the documents got back here, and she did a lot of our big plans that are more tedious to do. She did all of them. We could not have done it without her. So she's also in the process of doing all of the putting the documents where they are supposed to be in the R drive system. It's an amazing accomplishment that it's all done now.
How long did it take? So I wondered, was months, wasn't it?
It was a 2-year project.
Oh.
So we started it last year, shipping off the boxes, and we left the older boxes and the ones that had a lot of different files in it till this year. And then we shipped the rest out. And then the plans were done more in-house so that in case operations needed them, they were still available. So yeah, it's been an amazing project, and we're really happy it's done. And thank you to Michelle.
Good.
If I could
Thank
just
you.
add to that too, she also, Michelle also scanned all our large maps, and some of them were original old maps that there was just one paper copy of. So
Wow.
that was another amazing piece of work to get done. And we've got backup, and the backups are going up to the cloud.
Yeah.
So we're in much better shape.
Yeah.
So can I ask, now is the idea to take all of the reports from 2026, for instance, and scan them like once a year? Or do we wait and do many years worth at once? I wasn't sure.
No, so moving forward, we are digitizing as we go so that we don't have a backlog of stuff. And it seems to be working out well right now. So
Thank you. Okay, could I please have someone receive the CAO report for information? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Poturica, all in favor. Thank you. Now we'll go to council reports. Councillor Bennett, you're first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First of all, to one of our other staff, Mr. Ruck, I want to say congratulations to the family. The 2 twin boys will be drafted in NHL probably by the end of this month, and the younger son just got drafted by the Medicine Hat Tigers, so congratulations. So my report's a little longer because we went to Silga, and basically these are just a few things that were some highlights. One of the stuff was don't be scared of AI, take courses, programs, learn to trust, because basically a lot of the cities and towns now are designing, engineering, and that's the way of the future. Other ones were vision forward, stop looking back, leverage partnerships like Rogers Place or Fortis Curling Rink, look into community forests, Woodlot BC potential, Revelstoke brings in a lot of money through their community forest. Partnering collaboration, government agencies, joining communities and Indian bands as together. And they had a quite interesting thing. They had a mosquito controlled drone technology. So getting rid of all the helicopters and planes, they can now do this with drones, which is amazing. They'll get a lot more mosquitoes and get a lot closer. And some of the key resolutions were taking the sales tax instead of going to government, and we all apply to try and get some of that money back, as have it, say, 1 or 2% of that sales tax go directly right back to the community where they bring it out. Capital funding for libraries, because they're becoming more safe spaces for mental health, addiction, gathering places. Provincial housing policy roundtable, get all the lower levels of government together and talk to the government about how housing should be done instead of the government trying to tell the communities. So there's many resolutions. A lot of them were just so people know it's 2.5 days and a lot of things happening if you want to run for council, because there's farm use, heritage conservation, letters of patent for places like OK Falls, gravel road maintenance, environmental, provincial diking, fire smart, data and funding, short-term rentals, vacancy tax, victim services, food recovery, public transit for communities under 10,000. So that's just some of the examples of the main topics that were discussed over the 2.5 days. That's my report.
So now the rest of us don't have to say anything if you've covered it all. Thank you, Councillor Bennett. Councillor Cheong.
Nothing to report this time.
You just looked after everything else here while we were away. That's okay. Councillor Poturica.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Councillor Bennett, for highlighting our report for us. But yeah, Return from Silga, always a great opportunity with our member municipalities and partners throughout the region. Really good to get out to the other end of the region. Revelstoke, as we know, is a resort municipality like ourselves, and they deal with a lot of the similar challenges that we do. They have a shoulder season and a quiet season like we do, and it happens to be while we were there. So really unique to see how they adapt during that time. A lot of the restaurants, of course, shut down for the April, May months to kind of refresh themselves, and others really double down and take advantage of really keeping their venues full of locals. Some good opportunities to take advantage of some. Some have some really good special pricing for the couple week, 2-3 period there where they're really, really soft just to keep employment going and strong throughout that off season. Obviously, weather was great, and of course, afterwards ended that with a nice little tour throughout these Kootenays, visiting I think 4 or 5 more resort municipalities. So, a couple stops in each one there just to kind of see where we are against them, and we do a really good job with the RMI program. It certainly benefits this community greatly, and that's my report.
Thank you. Councillor King.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess just to add a couple of things on to Councillor Bennett. There was 30 resolutions. They all got passed, which was quite interesting. The other thing, there was a couple politicians there that you could actually meet privately. One of them was the health minister that talked for an hour on different things moving forward, but they were also willing to meet sidebar with groups if you wanted to talk to them. But the real interesting part is being able to talk to other councillors and mayors from other communities to find out what type of issues or problems they have or don't have. And you come talk to them all, and they all seem to have the same problem, water. So again, that's my report.
Thank you. So I am going to start with the meeting that I was on last week called the Annual Water Supply. From OBWB. The theme is One Water, One Community, Many Needs. So droughts, of course, are the big thing this year. The snow water equivalent at this time of year is, as I mentioned the last time, it was at 58%. It is now down to, in the Okanagan, to 31%. So that is pretty low, 61% in the Similkameen at this point. There not only droughts and was talked about at this meeting, but population growth, wildfire trends, and how source watersheds are affected. Cyanobacteria blooms, that's blue-green algae, is affected everywhere with warmer water and temperatures rising. And not only the zebra quagga mussels, which I've spoken of for a long time, but golden mussels, which are originated over in the east, somewhere across the Pacific. We're not sure where, but they've landed in California. And they are spreading up, and they don't really, they're much more easily adapted than the zebra quagga mussels. So it just seems to get more complicated all the time. Groundwater observation wells, aquifers, are being looked at. So there's hydrometric stations up and down the valley. And one of the fellows who is from the Water Stewardship Council from OBWB, George Wong, said, "We need the data from hydrometric stations because we cannot manage what we cannot measure." And many of the groundwater observation wells are lower than normal. Tucklenuit has a well near there. It's at historical lows right now. Well 402 up at Anarchist Mountain is 1.7 meters below where it was in 2025. So everybody, as you can see, is very concerned about what's going to happen. And Martin Succi from the Osoyoos Lake Board of Control also spoke at this meeting. A very dry, so what's happened is, and it was just on the other day, condition 8, drought, where normally there would be the lake levels would be kept at this time of year between 9:11 and 9:12. Right now they're being expanded a little bit, 9:10.5 to 9:12.5, in order to allow a little bit of flexibility in keeping the water, because we certainly need water, not only for our irrigation and for household use, but also for the salmon, and because a lot of it goes down to the Okanagan River in the United States. So there's a lot of things to consider. The SILGA, I have the award right here that Osoyoos won, Town of Osoyoos, for social responsibility, one of 3 Community Excellence Awards. And that was for our 85th Street Plaza. So people were very supportive, and the 4 of us that were at the meeting went up onto the stage, and we had all kinds of pictures and videos taken of us, which was great. We were very happy to get this, but the best thing was that I mentioned it to Mrs. Colson, and she did all the work. She and yes, and Mr. Davis, Director Davis, got all the pictures, put it all together. They did a terrific video of Osoyoos and what the 85th Street Plaza looked like before and after, and we got lots of kudos for that. So thank you to everybody, but particularly Mrs. Colson, who did a lot of the work on that. So one of the things that I attended at SILGA was, it was an infill development, and a fellow from the Canadian Home Builders Association talked to us quite a bit about how single family homes do not pay or fit the tax bill. You're never going to get enough taxes from single family homes to pay the rising costs. DCC bylaws, it was rather than having it on the lot size, do it per square foot or square meter. And the problems are that if some of the builders are looking at taking a piece of property and building 4 homes on it versus just the one, which is one of the possibilities, are the projects viable? Are they buildable? And there's a lack of funding for the servicing. So it's quite they're finding that they're running into all kinds of concerns about this, and there certainly are not nearly as many pieces of property anywhere that have 4 homes on it versus 1. And so all of these things have to be looked at, because you can't just say, yeah, we'll build it. I mean, obviously the builders have to figure out a way to make some money on this as well. So lots of issues. I was at Okanagan Basin Water Board last week in Kelowna. We have a 5-year strategic direction now. And of course, I mentioned it this morning, Make Water Work, because Osoyoos won for the most pledges last year. We get to have the launch held in Osoyoos, and it's next Wednesday, May the 20th, from 10:30 until 12. It's right outside here on our park area. And we are having the executive director of OBWB, the chair. I will speak, and so will the Okanagan Xeriscape Association. Please come, drop in. There are treats and snacks and lots of information. And the people that can answer your questions are definitely there. So I'd advise anybody to come. Another thing we mentioned was the Okanagan Water Stewardship Council does a meeting with Okanagan Basin Water Board once a year. They are the technical advisors. There's probably 20 or 30 of them on there. They're all brilliant in their own right, and they get together and solve problems. And one of the things that we had asked about, the board had asked about last year, was sewerage system regulation. Mainly not sewer systems, but more septic tank. And how does that affect? And so, you know, the properties and the rivers, and if you do not have any kind of regulation for septic tanks, then a lot of the water and the sewage could go into lakes and streams and into drinking water wells. And so they've done a really good job, but it's just the draft one that they showed us the other day. But these are the experts that have come up with this. So it's really good. And it's basically, the bottom line is protection of drinking water is the main thing. So again, water. And then I was at Regional District last week as well, and guess what was on the agenda? Water issues. Sage Mesa has their own water system. It was owned privately. It's owned by the government manages it now, and the people at Sage Mesa voted in a referendum not to have the RDOS take over that system. So they're kind of back at square one talking to the province, and nobody is quite sure how that will happen, but as usual, it's the cost of everything to put in a new system and to make sure that the drinking water is appropriate for them. There's a huge cost. So emergency management is a big issue these days as well. And we have Chief Cook here, who has taken over emergency management for the town of Osoyoos. The RDOS also has a large group there, and they kind of manage the entire area. And we also had the Okanagan Regional Library Board, Executive Director Danielle, forgot her last name, but she's absolutely an amazing lady and is very, very interested in trying to not just promote books, but like there's a million other things. I was into the library up in Revelstoke, and they have a special little section for teenagers that can go in and use the computer. And they have another section where they have a sewing machine and a serger set up for people to come in and use it. And I thought, wow, this is quite a different library, because I was a school librarian at one time, where I certainly had the training for it and did it on and off. And it's a lot more than just books now. So it was really interesting. And I think that is all that I had today, but I'll reiterate again, we had a great time at Silga, and really all of us learned a lot. We all went to different sessions. And I have one more quote based on water. This is from the Watershed Security Fund, and it was the lady from the CEO of the Fraser Basin Water, and she says, "Who's willing to take on the responsibility of looking after water now and in the future?" So sometimes it seems that we're harping on about this, about water issues and how to protect it, but if we don't do it, who will? So I will leave it at that, and I will move to the in-camera section, that pursuant to section 91 of the